I believe that you get to be unapologetic about it, so you don't have to justify why you want the money. And I want to normalize us women having big money. And it's just a matter of like sharing your magic with somebody to give them a piece of your love, because maybe one talk could change someone's life.
It's your time to have big money. You get to be unapologetically rich.
Became a single mom unexpectedly, and I was like, there's no way in hell it was going down. So it was like, I'm going to make this wealth. I'm going to create what it is, because I had two kids that needed mom to do it, you know? Being a mother is my greatest thing. My children are my number one for me. When I look at my children and I see their success or what they've done, it brings me great joy.
And guess what? Us women need other women who can celebrate us, where we can go talk about being rich and being wealthy. We don't have containers or rooms that are like that. And I was looking for them. So guess what? I made it.
Hello, hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? We just got to change the view. What's going on? Welcome to the Frequency Masterclass. My name is Shamina Taylor. How many of you are new to me? I'd love to hear new. Sash, we are streaming right now. We can go stream right now, or maybe when the video played is when we started streaming, right, into the group. New, Robin's new. Hi, Robin. Nice to meet you. I'd like more people to come on camera. Since I'm on camera and I'm spending my day with you, I'd love you to come on camera too. I do these master classes for free so that we can together be here, and that's one of my requests. Hi, Angela. Thank you for being here. Hi, Kristen. I just saw your review of my book. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that it was a good book. And all right, so we've got a few people on. We actually have hundreds of people that signed up, but people. This is why if you're live, you get to watch it. We leave one day for replay, and then we take it down, and then we sell it. And so for those of you that were smart enough to get on here and be live, that's great. And not smart enough, take the time to be here. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to do this masterclass is because I think a lot of people have it wrong when it comes to creating what they want. Being in the frequency is everything. So I want to just start off with the definition of what the frequency is. Sash, were you able to get that done or no? Just let me know. You didn't do the graphics? Oh, okay. All right. No, no worries. Well, then I'm just going to go ahead and I was going to show you some stuff. And I was hoping I actually could have created them myself. It was like really, really simple. But what I want to start off with is what the definition of frequency is. Now, frequency is your consistent internal state of being, emotionally, subconsciously, and neurologically. It determines what you can access and what you can receive and sustain in your life. So, whatever you've got going on internally is what's going to externally show up in your life. It's not what you want, it's what you repeatedly return to. And so, this is something that you have to constantly get into a state of. So, frequency is a signal that you're broadcasting through your emotions, through your subconscious, through your nervous system, and your identity, and the standards that you hold. And so, for the 2 days that we're going to be talking, today I'm going to tell you all about it, but tomorrow I'm going to show you how to do it, like how you can sustain and keep in that state. So life doesn't respond to your desires. I mean, it's great to have desires so we have a place that we can navigate. It responds to the signal that you are tuning into all day long. And frequency isn't just about attraction, it's about compatibility. Like, are you the direct frequency for the thing that you want? For example, years ago, I brought out my cash here today and it all fell on the floor too, which I gotta pick up. Years ago, I remember when I first started learning about this stuff, they said you should get into the frequency of money. How many people have said that? If you want more money, you should get into the frequency of money. Have you guys heard that before? Okay, so what is the frequency of money? Who can tell me what it is? Who can tell me what it is? Right. So when they said that to me, get in the frequency of money, I was like, okay, frequency money, what is your frequency? Because I'd like to get connected to you. So I had no idea what that meant because it was a piece of paper and it was an energy and it was just what I assigned meaning to it. But the frequency of money is what I'm going to unfold a little bit for you here today for you to understand it so that you can get into a really great understanding of why do people come work with me and start making more money? How do they start expanding into them more? Where is it that the shift happens that my client Christina could go from making $100,000 a month to making $30 million last year? Where does that shift happen? How does it correlate and connect? Where is it that I said, and I'm going to show you a video later, that a year from now I'm going to be a millionaire and it happened? Where does that connect for us? What I want you to understand is everything that you've ever wanted is out there in the quantum field. It's ready for you. It's sitting there waiting for you. But your frequency is a level at which you feel safe and familiar and it feels normal for your life to have and for you to emotionally hold. That's very important that you understand this. So your inner state isn't calibrated. So if your inner state isn't calibrated to receive, the outcome can still exist. Like you might say you want a G-Wagon, but I get it. So the outcome can, so let me repeat that. Your inner state isn't calibrated. So if your inner state is not calibrated to receive, the outcome can still exist, but it will never reach you. So you don't manifest just your desires. You live in the frequency you can sustain. And since I have a high frequency with money, I believe that until the day I die, money will always be there to protect me, take care of me, and it is always going to be in abundance in my life. I am now tuned in to the frequency of money. And how many of you on this call watching would love that too? Not just money, for all the things that you want. And you know what's crazy is because I'm still working on the man. That's one of my things. So I'm tuning into that frequency. But you know how much harder it is to tune into the frequency of money than it is to men, like the one that you want. I can get lots of men, but it's like money is now a done deal for me, and it will never shift because now I have the embodiment of that frequency. Now I'm tuned in to that result. I'm just gonna go into the Facebooks and see who's watching there. So tell me, how many of you just drop in the chat, or if you're watching on this, would love to tune in to the frequency? Let me know. Who wants to be in the frequency of money? All right. Me, there's lots of me's. Okay. That makes so much sense. I want that frequency. Susan, exactly. And so this is where I'm at. You'd like to be in the okay, let's go. So here's where it is. Now, I want you guys to just really set aside anything you've ever heard before about manifesting, creating your reality, or whatever it is. And I want you to actually be you, those of you that are on this call and you're watching live, you're going to tune into a frequency today, right now. So stop multitasking. And that's why I ask you to get on camera. Be present here to feel in what I'm going to tell you because you're going to have a shift. It might not last long, but you will have a shift. You might have a client show up, something happen for you because you're going to tune in. When you're multitasking and you're doing other things, guess what? You're not emotionally connected. You're consciously not connected. You're physically not connected. You're not present. You're just listening, but you're not attuning. There's a difference. Okay? Very, very different. So I want you to just feel into that. Do you feel a shift? I felt a shift. You can feel the wave when you start tapping in. There's a wave. Now listen. Would someone say, I believe it because it happened exactly, Susan. So when people read my book or they watch it, they start tuning in. The reason why people join my programs is because they want to stay in it long enough until they become the embodiment of it, where now it's become natural for them. They don't think twice about it. They start tuning into that, and it becomes their dominant state instead of where they are now. Your minds are going to be blown a little bit, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So, let's get ready. We're going to get into it. And it's not going to be a very long teaching because I want you to feel into it, but you're going to have an activation. And so just trust me on the process. So this is what it works. This is how it works. The master class is called the frequency for a very, very specific reason. Sorry, I just heard a noise in my house. I'm the only one here. Hang on. Let me just check my, oh, everything looks good. It could be just a little animal outside. Let's get back. Whew, I got to shift my state now. Okay. It could be snow just falling off the roof too. Because what most people are missing has nothing to do with manifesting, positive thinking, or alignment rituals. A lot of people think, well, if I just manifest it, I just think positively, I'll tune into it. What they are missing is access. What you want already exists. Can you believe that? The money, the relationship. Like my man, he's alive right now. He exists already. I'm not waiting for him to be born. He's out there. I am calling him into my space, but I have to tune into his freak. I'm going to tell you the reason why I created this masterclass is because something completely shifted in me of a deep, deep understanding of what I've been doing over and over again. And then I was teaching it. I've been teaching it, but now I can teach you exactly what I do automatically. So the money, the relationship, the lifestyle, the ease, the expansion, it already exists in the quantum field, right? It already exists. You have to believe that. That's the first belief. What you want already exists. Can you come to that belief? Can you make that assessment? And a lot of people can't. They'd be like, I don't believe $1 million can come to me. Because I just can't see it yet. So there'll be a lot of resistance. I don't believe I can make $100,000 a month. I don't believe I can, my dream car is a G-Wagon. Yours might be a Porsche or whatever it is. Whatever your dream life looks like, sometimes you'll go, that vision's too big, and I can't think of it. But I want you to be in the state of everything that you desire exists. That is number one. You have to have that magically be out there. That has to be it. And a lot of people say you get delusional about it, but I'm going to tell you, whatever you want right now, it's not big enough, and that's why you're not attuning to it. So keep listening to what I got to say. This is very huge. So if you turn on the radio, and you've heard this is not something new that I'm teaching. If you turn on the radio and you tune into the wrong station, let's say you tune into country and you don't listen to country, but you're expecting hip hop to play from that country station, you're like, what is wrong, right? So let's say you tune into the radio and you tune into the wrong station. It doesn't matter how badly you want that song to be on there, all you will hear is static. And the majority of people are living in static and calling it effort. They're living in the noise. They're not even actually tuned in to the thing that they desire. So your frequency isn't what you want. Your frequency is what you consistently return to emotionally, subconsciously, and neurologically. And here's the part that most people don't realize. They are not choosing their frequency consciously. They're defaulting back to it. So I'll give you an example of something like this. A lot of people are manifesting right now. Manifesting is something that you do all the time. It doesn't matter if you're actively doing it, you are creating your reality at all times with whatever you're admitting. Tuning into a frequency is a very intentional state of being. It is very intentional. And it's not something where you manifest it and you let it go and it's gone forever and just hope it comes back. Frequency is the strategy. Tuning into the frequency is what everybody is missing, why they don't have that. So today I'm going to show you why you keep losing access to what you want. Even when you're smart, you're capable, you're doing the work. And tomorrow I'm going to show you what it actually takes to hold that higher frequency without collapsing back into old stories and patterns and experiences. So Right now, you guys following me? Is this so far? Is this good so far? Are you guys following me? Feeling good? Yeah. Okay. And it's hitting, it's like landing for you, what I'm saying. Okay, great, 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 great. I'm excited for that. Okay, super. And those of you watching live, you should join the Zoom. Sash, can you put the link on the live in the Facebook group? Maybe you can just post it there, make a post and tell everybody to join the Zoom from the Facebook group on the live, but also a separate post. So we can have more people coming on here. I like when they're on the call because I want them to be in the frequency. Okay. Let me see. I moved away from where I was. Trying to get into the Facebook group. Okay. So your frequency, like I said, is not your desire. Wanting doesn't always equal receiving. Access requires internal compatibility. You internally have to be compatible with the outside of what you want. Now, the frequency of the emotion, like emotions are this is the gateway. This is why I teach a program called Accessing the Quantum through Emotional Self-Mastery. That's why if you have not read my book yet, and oh, more money dropped. In my book, I talk about the emotions. The emotions are everything. They will trump your neurology, they will trump everything because it is the state that you are in and it is the state that you're being. This is very, very, very important for you to understand. Now, your emotional baseline is going to be huge, whether or not you are aligned with everything that you desire. And I'm going to give you examples for you to understand this. Your subconscious thoughts, those loops, they're constantly going to be emitting the frequency for you to align with. Your nervous system, because your emotions run your nervous system, are going to be constantly setting out the baseline. And who you are being, your identity, the embodiment of the woman that you are, and what standards do you have are going to predict the actual outcome of the things that you want and the frequency that you're aligned to. Most people are broadcasting contradiction. That's what they are. They're broadcasting the wrong thing out there. They're saying, "Hey, I want this," but internally, they are not even prepared to receive it. For example, when you are in a relationship far too long and you know you need to leave, but you're like, you know what, I've been with this person for so long, it's going to be so much work to start all over again. You're unhappy in this relationship, right? It's not fulfilling everything. You know what? I did want somebody who did XYZ, but I settled for this person. It's just easier instead of starting all over. I'm not very happy, but I'm going to stay here. This is a great one. I've seen this happen with people before. Unfortunately, I've seen this with past clients and people who have not fulfilled their financial. They will go out and they'll say, "Hey, you should come buy my program. Come buy my thing. I'm going to teach you about money." Meanwhile, they haven't paid their bill to their mentor. Can somebody really be teaching about uh, about money when they haven't paid their bill? Tell me that. So when somebody has defaulted on their payments to me, and then they're out there teaching you how to make money, you tell me. And someone's teaching you, well, it's a contradiction, right? And someone's in a relationship and they're telling you how to be in a relationship, but they're not happy, or they're wanting a really nice relationship, but then they're staying in a relationship that doesn't serve them. Tell me that's a tuned in frequency. Aren't they on the wrong stations? Wrong stations. Identity problem, yes, and it's a standard problem, but it's also a frequency problem. Someone who is a people pleaser, they'll say, "Yeah, I'd let you choose a restaurant. I'll go where you want." They choose sushi, and you get there, and you're like, "I hate sushi. Why didn't I say something?" "Well, I just didn't want to be the person that spoke up, and I don't want to." Well, then now you are out of alignment, but you're also out of the frequency. You're going to be tuned out. Every time you self-abandon yourself, are you actually in the frequency of what you want? You have that friend that calls you up all the time and it's always like, blah, 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 dumping on you, or it's always a drama. And you're like, "Oh, I'm going to talk to them." And you get off the phone and then you complain to somebody else about it. Are you really a good friend to this person? But you just can't end it because you've been friends for 30 years, but you can't speak up. Are you tuned into power? So this is so important. All of these things matter. Every single one. You get a meal at a restaurant and you can't stand it, and it's $40, $50 for that plate, and you didn't send it back. What frequency are you tuned into? Not somebody who's enjoying their food. Absolutely. Who just said that, Jel? Exactly. And we're going to come up with the three core wounds, how they're white weaved in, and how we self-abandon on a daily basis. And we do it everywhere. The way we look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't give ourselves love. We appear like, you'll see people that looking really powerful coming out, but if you actually tapped into what they say to themselves internally, is it love? I love the way I look, even if you've got that extra 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. I love myself. Is it all of these things that you're supposed, because you're not tuned into love. You're not tuned into power. You're tuned into judgment. And judgment's the opposite of abundance. And judgment actually sets your money on fire. A lot of nodding heads. Okay. Now, so every time, so let's talk about this. So when you have an emotional dysregulation, your signal is lost. It's gone. This is why I teach emotional mastery. So every time you have an emotional spike, worry, sadness, frustration, disappointment, you're not just having a feeling. You're like, let's change that station right now because I don't want anything I want right now. I'm going to sit over here and be pissed off. When I see people on the internet and they're internet trolls, or they're up in rage and they're yelling and screaming about things and they're upset and this, that, and the other, and you see somebody who's worrying about this and they're like, how is this going to work out? I can't, I know that they have emotional dysregulation. If you have not learned how to manage your triggers will manage you and take you right out of your frequency like that. So for a lot of women that I work with, their survival state feels normal to them, but it's actually a dysregulation. That survival state, they're the place where they are doing everything, doing it all, and then they're like, why can't I breathe? Why am I burnt out? Why is nothing working? What is happening? Because you're trying to tune into a new frequency, but your state of being, consciously, subconsciously, everything is in a state of suffering. So, what would you be actually tuned into in survival mode? What are you tuned into? Are you tuned into abundance? Suffering. You're tuned into suffering. When you worry, you're tuned into worry. Yes, Dr. Angela, stress. And if you cannot manage, because listen, none of us, I have not met anybody, especially my generation, it creates disease. That people we'll talk about that in a minute. I have not been anywhere where they came to me and said, my parents actually told me how to feel my emotions. And they told me it was safe to feel my emotions. All of us that came in the Gen X, especially Gen X, and even younger, we were told big girls don't cry. You got to be fast as a boy. You better compete. What are you good at? Not once did they tell us that our emotions were important for us to feel. Exactly. All of us are happening now. We got menopause and all this stuff going on right now. And listen, our moms didn't tell us because they were shh, boom, whoosh, shush, shush about it. They didn't talk about it. They just said there's something's going to happen later on. We're not talking about it. And now all of us were just like, because we're like tired of it. We're like, we're going through it right now, people. I didn't know I was going through it till I was like, what is that? Right? We didn't get that education. Society told us you better be fast like a boy, you better go quick, you better be smart, you better become a doctor or a lawyer or something so people can validate you, so you can be seen, heard in society so that you are worthy for something. So I get it. I get it. I understand. But now I have a solution to help you rewire that because y'all, you're still beautiful, amazing, and you got lots of life left in you to create what you want. Absolutely. Yes. So here's the thing. Survival mode is where if you cannot get yourself out of it, you're going to stay in it. So something has to change for you to break that cycle. And for many women, predictability feels very safe, but what happens is it caps expansion. So if you have a dysregulated nervous system, I know when women do, especially high achievers, because they're like, how does this work? I need to know all the details. My head, because their head is asking all the questions to try and calm their system that's like alert, alert, alert. They think with more information, this is going to be calm. But it's the actual opposite. This needs to be calm for this to run. And so they think more information is going to make the nervous system regulated. But what I teach is when you regulate and you are in an emotional state, you can create from this, you neurologically can change everything. And then you can tune into the frequency. That's why I don't know if you guys ever tried this, but I did before. Just think good thoughts and things good will come your way. The only way that works is if you have like literally like zero resistance emotionally to that result, will you be able to tune into that? Right? Like a parking spot. Nobody has any emotional, unless it's you're in this sub-zero, temperature and you want one and you get upset about it. But really, nobody has like an emotional connection to it. So it's like, ah, if it doesn't happen, no big deal. I'm not gonna be disappointed. My life is not gonna go da 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 da, right? So, but when it's big, like money, relationships, losing weight, being seen, like a woman who, when they come to me, they want to be seen out there. They want to make their videos, but they're like worried about what people will think about them. So, yet they'll have this powerful woman, but then subconsciously being fully seen in their power is really hard because they are not attuned into, I'm a badass and I'm unapologetic about who I am, and here I am about it. And that's why they come work with me because they want to borrow some of this frequency so they can get there. That's how it works, right? I'm so unapologetic about money. I don't know where you found me, how you saw me, but I'm somebody that's like, listen, if it exists, I get to have it. I can buy whatever I want. I don't need to sit here and justify why I want a G-Wagon, a Rolex, or I want to take first class trips, or why I want to, rent a yacht in Europe and take my kids all over the place and get helicopters and buy whatever the heck I want to buy because I'm tuned into money, and I'm sorry for you that you aren't, and you have all this negative connotations about it, but I don't anymore. I know it's just a frequency, and I want it forever, and it's going to be there for me forever. So you can sit there and judge me about how I use my money. Well, I'm just going to go out there and teach other women to be this like this with money. Like that's what I think. I think when women have money, we do extraordinary things with it. We not only do we buy things, like women will come to me and they'll say, "Listen, I don't like nice things, but I want experiences." I'm like, okay, let me challenge that. What about nice things and nice experiences? Do you want both? Because both is available for you. Both is available. Because when listen to me very carefully. When someone says, "I don't want nice things," and nice things are a luxury and they hold wealth and they have money in them, and then they say they want experiences, you tell me if nice things and experiences, which cost money, don't have the same frequency. So if you're saying no to nice things and you want just experiences, are you actually in the common denominator? Are you tuned into abundance? Are you tuned into the more? You're not. But a lot of times people will say, I don't want nice things because it's materialistic. Oh, because society told you that? Look, if Louis Vuitton created and we can buy it, why are you judging it? Because someone told you you should judge it. Someone told you you shouldn't have it. And this is going to trigger some people because of the programming they were raised with. Let me tell you, all of us have bullshit from our parents that we didn't create. They told us that money was going to be, wasted, that we would lose things, that you need to save your money, that money doesn't grow on trees, a lot of things. So subconsciously, this is what most women are constantly battling, the chance to have more, and do I deserve it? Isn't that the contradiction we talked about earlier? That's the contradiction, right? So every time you get triggered by somebody, you know what you do? Like, say you start up really in the morning, you wake up, you do your journaling, you're in the state, you're like, this is amazing, I'm feeling good. And then You find out your kid didn't take the trash out. All of a sudden you get pissed off. You get in the car and it's taking a minute to start your car. It's cold. You get mad for that. You get out and pull out in the driveway. You start driving, somebody's cutting you off. Every time you give them a little bit of your frequency, you're starting here, you go down to here. But this is what happens to people all day, every day, all day long. Even the people pleasers, they'll be like, I hate her. Can you see this bitch? This bitch is terrible. I can't stand this bitch. Look at this bitch. Oh, okay, sure, you bitch. Like this is how people operate. They're fake. But guess what you can't fake? Frequency. You can try all day, every day, fake it. It just won't work. It won't. Have you tried it? I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. It won't work. Now, let's talk about that. Sash, you got the video ready? I just want to put you into a good state to tune into. This is not faking it. This is what I teach, and this is why this works. June 11th, which was my birthday, 2020, I just come home from celebrating something for the month. We had a great month. But on that day, I decided to go live. Sorry, I decided to go on my Instagram and make a video. And this video goes like this. Sash, you ready to play it? This is showing you what tuning is, and I'll explain to you what this means. Is it speaker? Can everybody see it, or is it still in
That
the small?
I'm going to declare right now is that this time next year, I'm going to be a millionaire. It's all happening for me. The money's coming in, the success, everything's all lining up. And I'm declaring it right now that next time this year, or maybe sooner, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Now, if you saw it said June 11th, 2020 on the top there. And when it was, I reposted it. That's why it said that. So right there on the top, June 11th, 2020. Yeah, you can end it now, Sash. Thanks. So this is not just manifesting. This is an attunement of frequency. How a millionaire acts, what a millionaire thinks, what a millionaire views, being allowed to put myself into a state of belief. And believing and attaining that state is very important. Now, this is where I want to, it's a segue into the next part that I want to talk to you about. Where, who, who told me, where did I get permission to go out there and say, a year from now, I was going to be a millionaire? Who told me that? Who told me that? Who told me that I could be a millionaire and I can make $1 million in a year in a new business that I just started? Who gave me permission? Who told me that? This was ludicrous. Do you understand? It was craziness. It was ridiculousness. But I saw other women doing it, and I said, why not me? And you know what? I made the declaration shaking in my boots, and I was scared. And I did it anyway. I did it anyway. You know why? Because I raised my frequency, but I also raised my standard. What I want exists in the world. But if I am not tuning into it internally, it will miss me. So I had to say $1 million so it would catch me. And guess what? A year from then, $1 million crossed my Stripe account almost to the day. And it's not because I just said it and it happened, it's because of what I teach. So it wasn't like I just went, I'm manifesting. It's an attunement. This is why I don't teach about manifesting, because I do think that's great, but it's not a consistency. It's not a predictable outcome. I want you to have a predictable outcome. I want you to become the lighthouse. This is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. You have to be the lighthouse to be able to basically shine out there into the quantum field. It's physics. When you break it down to the science of this, you will understand that what you're thinking, feeling, emotional state, embodying right now is a reason why the things that you want are missing you. The thoughts you think about every day, your actions, your emotions, how you respond to people, how you operate in the world. That's why those things are missing you. It's not because they don't exist. They absolutely exist. This is why you see other people having success and maybe not you. So, a lot of the times, the problem is your standards aren't high enough and you have unconscious regression all the time. So, this is where your new this is where I want you to really understand here. Okay. Here's what most people don't realize. When they feel uncomfortable expanding, they're unconsciously lowering their standards to return to a familiar state. So when they feel uncomfortable, it doesn't feel right. Oh, they need to know the how, the when. They're unconsciously putting themselves back into a lower frequency. This is why they don't tune in. It's not because it's not because it's good for them. It's because it's predictable. They like to know how, when, what's happening. I need answers because they don't have a very regulated state. Stuck doesn't always feel bad. Stuck often feels normal for many people, even when they're in a relationship that doesn't serve them, especially when people are trauma bonding with somebody and they're dysregulated and it's like, oh, we're fighting all the time. They stay in that relationship because it feels normal to them because that dysregulated state is what their nervous system is attuned to. Abundance is free, clean, allowing. It's a higher frequency. So I believe if you lie to yourself every day, you are tuning to a different channel instead of the one that you want. And lying could look like settling for somebody who's not really someone that makes you happy, but just you're passing the time and you just have that person there. You're lying to yourself, aren't you? Is that a truth you're living? You let me know. You have a friendship in your life. You can't stand talking to them. Every time you get off the phone, you're telling somebody about them. Is that a truth? You're at a job you can't stand, but you keep going there because you need to pay your bills, but you're not actually reaching for something bigger. So are you settling and lying to yourself? You say you want to lose weight, but you haven't put on your running shoes and gone to the gym and done anything about it. You say you want to blow up your business, but you're not investing in yourself or doing anything about it. You're not changing. You just keep watching free videos over and over again. And you're not doing something about it. So this is really important. I talk about the three core wounds: unworthiness, betrayal, and abandonment. And a lot of the times, people don't even realize that when they feel unworthy, their complete everyday lens that they see through the world represents that. And worthiness is not attuned to more wealth, it's attuned to lack. Somebody has betrayed you, upset you. What do? You put up a shield. I think that's not going to happen to me again. That's not going to happen to me again. I'm going to protect myself from this happening to me again. So, you know what? I'm going to act different. I'm going to be suspicious of everybody. I'm not going to trust people. I'm going to stay in a state of, it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. And that's what people say to themselves. They wait for the other shoe to drop. They wait for something to happen. And that's not a frequency of what Shamina did. I'm going to be a millionaire in a year. You know what I did? I had belief, unwavering belief. Some people call it delusional. I would say it's happening. And I was all in on it. Nobody was going to tell me otherwise because I was in a state where this thing has to work. That's it, period. But I also took action. I did something. First money I made, I reinvested back in my business. I've spent $1 million, almost $1 million, hiring people, mentors, programs. I just bought a program a couple of days ago, a week ago, and I'm learning. I'm constantly learning, constantly investing in myself. I'm constantly growing because I know when I do, I change my frequency. It's when I stay and do nothing and don't invest in myself. This is when you die, right? When you don't grow, you die. So people expect to tune into a frequency. They're like, well, I just had good thoughts. I'm thinking positively. But that doesn't work when your deep down internal state is telling a different story. When you have things that haven't been transmuted, when you don't feel all your emotions through and you have your past living in your body, that is the frequency that you send out into the world. That's what you create. You don't clean it up, well, guess what? You're going to get more of that. Why I believe we get to the root, we remove it, we take actions, we transmute that energy, we create a new state of reality, a new beingness. This is why women quantum leap in my world. This is why 51 women have scaled their businesses to $1 million or more in my world. 357 is it out where now women have hit their highest cash months because I lift those limits that you live in right now. The limits that you live in right now are the reasons why you haven't tuned in to the more. It's very important. You can't quit this work. You don't just come in to take a master class and then you think you're fixed. A frequency is an existing state that you have to be in at all times. It won't be something that you just shift your mindset and you stay there. It is an entire state of being that you have to access. And that's how it works. So if you ever wondered why you can touch a higher state and then lose it, tomorrow you'll understand why. And more importantly, what actually it takes to live there. What does it take for me to stay in that state? Because a lot of people don't know how to stay in it. They don't know how to be that person. Like, why is it? And I'll tell you from my experience that I realized that I had a lot of unresolved emotional states in my life. And this is why people who teach manifesting or they teach things that are not tangible without a strategy, a lot of people don't have the results that they want. They might have, oh, I manifested a check from the government today, or I got this. It's a hit or miss. It's not a continual state of beingness because you're not actually embodying that new version of yourself who is removed the resistance to the receiving. Now, you can't receive and be blocked at the same time. It won't work. Those two things won't coexist at the same time. And when women who have put up a shield in their lives and they have not been able to really emotionally access themselves, they are not attuning in to abundance. They're tuning in to survival. That's the frequency. So yeah, you can make money in it. Sure. But you got to keep being in that survival state to do it. And gosh, isn't that exhausting? Who wants to do that? That's feast or famine state. If you haven't resolved the abandonment wound inside of you, I will tell you, money will come like this and go right back out again. It'll come in and go out because women need to feel safe when it comes to money. If your nervous system doesn't feel safe, it won't let you even elevate to the new standards. So raising your standards are very, very high. Sorry, is very, very important. Raising your standards very high is very important. I'll give you an example. If I didn't say I wanted a Rolex, I wanted the best Rolex. I wanted a date time. I wanted rose gold, 18 carats. I wanted this. And I wanted diamonds. It takes 18 months for Rolex to make a watch. Did you guys know that? The moment that I decided, because at first I was like, buying that pricey of a watch, like, I don't know, that seems like a lot, even though I had my G-Wagon, I'm like, I don't know. And then when I decided, I was like, yes, I can't wait to wear this watch on my hand. Emotionally got behind it. I will tell you, 3 weeks later, Mary from Rolex texted me and said, guess what we have a watch in? I had to make a move. Did I just pretend to say I wanted it or did I take action on it? Well, guess what? I got cold feet. I didn't do it at the time. And guess what? The watch got sold in a day. I said, what did you do? Because it was a big investment. And at the time, I didn't know if it was what I wanted to do. Well, I had to go through the process again. I'm like, well, it opened up for you. What, you didn't take the opportunity. So now you're telling money not to come to you. So it came up again. I decided I want this. Absolutely. Messaged her as soon as I got in the emotional state. Literally, I could show you the text messages. I want to say it was a week or two later. No, a little bit longer than that. The watch came in. I said, I'm coming in tomorrow. She can't hold it. I'll try to get there today. I went in there, placed down my MX, and let me tell you, you can go look it up how much it costs. It's like almost $60,000 for the watch. That's the type of move you have to make. You have to be in the state of something bigger than what you are right now if you want to tune into more. I'll tell you, one of the best moves I made was investing one of my mentors. And tell you, it was a big chunk of money at the beginning when I started, but I was like, no, I'm going to do this scared and I'm going to do it anyway. It regulated me into the more. After I invested with them, I started having $150,000 cash months. I learned so much. Scared money doesn't make money. And when you live in fear, you'll always be in fear because that's the frequency that you're tuned into. When you worry about money, guess what frequency you're tuned into? The worry frequency. While Shamina's over here living her best life and teaching everybody else on her paid programs how to do it too. You stay in that state, that's what you are getting rewarded over and over and over again. And it's not your fault. It's only your fault if you keep choosing it. If you realize that one of the core wounds, or maybe all of them, unworthiness, betrayal, or abandonment, might be running the show, then you'll understand this is why I've got this shield up and I can't receive. This is why I'm in this protective state. This is why I haven't done X, Y, Z, because I'm constantly in this state of worry. The only way that you're going to tune into another frequency is to go bigger. You have to get so delusional about your success and results that you just go bigger and bigger and bigger. So if I said I wanted a Toyota, which I'm going to teach you tomorrow, do you think the universe would have given me a G-Wagon? And here's the thing, the man that I want, he's not just an ordinary man. And so I can't give my frequency to just regular Joes out there because then I'm not valuing my frequency. I've spent 13 years working on myself. I'm as fly as it comes. I'm amazing. I make my own money. My kids are amazing. They're emotionally mastered. Baby, you should see my body where I'm at right now. I'm 53 years old. I look good. If I don't feed into myself and tell myself and believe it and be in this energy, then I'm not going to ease it. So thank you very much. So I can't entertain people who are not here because then I'm going to miss my man because he's tuned into a frequency high, right? So I got to tune into that too. So you won't catch me having hot girl summer anymore. Those days are done. You won't catch me on an app, never went on them, but you won't catch me doing that kind of stuff. This is not where I am. So it's very important for you to understand that every time you have a dysregulated state or you are not being true to who you are not emotionally mastered, you are tuned into the wrong channel. And I help you tune into the right one. I show you how to get to that state. And I've had women who have had massive success in my programs. And their biggest fault why it doesn't stick is they don't keep tuning in. They think as soon as they get, because I know I'll show you how to make the money and make it back. They're like, oh, I got the money back, or I got the money back times 100. This investment was, oh, maybe, what was it? Sometimes, well, let's say we had one woman who made $400,000 once in my month. Another woman made a lot of money, and they think, what? I figured it out. No, you tuned in while you were with me. You tuned in, you did the work, and you tuned in. That's why you got the success. The moment that you drop off and you think that until you're embodied in it, you got to keep in the state. Why women join my programs? Because if you're fed daily this frequency, you're not going to not believe in yourself. You're not going to believe the money's there. You're going to rewire where you're at to start being in a different state. And that is why people come in my world. And I give them a step-by-step process of what they need to do. You got it, Dr. Angela. It's like people think they come on these free masterclass, which is great. I want to show you and tell you that this exists, and you're gonna, if you don't, I feel it right now. People are in a state of beingness right now. I can feel you tuned into it. But you think if like going to the gym, imagine if we just did one, my booty wouldn't grow if I just did one squat one day with a trainer. It just wouldn't grow. It wouldn't. Imagine one workout and I would be like, all right, we're good. Let's go get the chocolate cake. But that's what people do. That's the analogy. I already did it. I read the book. I know how to figure it out now. I'm just going to wait for the money now. Why didn't it come? Where is it at? So raising your standard is so important. Where do you live right now? Are you a woman that squeezes the last bit of toothpaste out? Are you a woman that buys the premium product because you want it, or do you go for cheap because you think that's better? Every time you go into I don't deserve state, you lower your standard. You have to have a high quality all the way around. Are you wearing them holy panties? Do you have a good thread count on your bed? Did you hire a cleaning lady? Are you doing things to operate at a state that you want to be at? All of these things matter. Where's your standard of where you're living? Is it at the level that you could be at? Very, very important. Because when you're in survival, you're not in abundance. You're not in a state of thriving. So tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to hold that frequency. What are some of your takeaways from today? What did you guys like about today? And what did you feel? I'd love to hear some takeaways. And what is a thing? And listen, what made you go, yeah, that's amazing. Those of you watching on Facebook as well, you guys can comment. What is something, and here's the thing, when you see a man, I'll just use a man because we're women in here. When you see him and you're like, that man is a man. He's confident. You don't mess with him. He might make you even shiver a little bit in your toes. When you see him, you're like, he would protect you. You know he would take care of you. Now I want you to flip it to me. When people come to my world, they know I know what I'm talking about because I'm that convicted that I can show you it. But you have to be willing to follow the rules and follow the step-by-step process, and you have to be willing to invest. And tomorrow I'll tell you how you can work with me. So let me see what you guys said here. First time seeing you live. I love your authenticity. Thank you so much, Alyssa. Empowerment, the belief in knowing you can and you will. I love that, Robin. I realize I need to tap into Frequency Channel a lot more. Absolutely. I'm investing in myself by investing in Shamina. This is a frequency I'd love to hold. Let's go. Awesome. High quality. What is she wearing? I love that. Love the session. Learned to not lose the frequency of abundance. Yes. Consistency. Consistently maintain the attunement and don't be inconsistent. Feel safe enough to desire more. I need to stop playing small. Love that. Love that. You can't receive. These are great. You can't receive and be blocked at the same time. No. Take action. The importance of embodiment. Good. Yes, the program will go to the root and heal. Oh, who said that? A lot of takeaways. Self-criticism about yourself is opposite for abundance. Yes, manifesting. Yeah, and manifesting is unpredictable, but you're manifesting at all times. But what if you could be so intentional about the frequency that you're tuned into? So here's an example. When people gossip, I leave the room. Like heavy gossip. Sometimes, you're just having discussions. When people are like they lost their minds on the internet for I don't even know how long, as soon as I see drama on the internet and there's nothing I can do about it, I remove myself from it because it's not something that I can, it's not going to tune me into the frequency. It's going to tune me into something else. When I see my timeline with a lot of like negative things in it, I just start removing it. Everything I read and I see and I watch is going to affect my frequency. The people around me, who do I eat with? Who do I hang with? Who are my friends? They need to be in abundance or we can't hang out. Where is it? What program of yours is in alignment with someone who's working in a business plan, starting their business soon? We have many programs, which I'm going to talk to you about tomorrow. Are you going to be here tomorrow? Arius, is that how you say your name? Is everybody showing up tomorrow? We have several programs I'll break down for you. But one of our programs is a wealthy CEO, and I can my team. If you contact my team right now, they can give you some more information about it. But I'll talk to you about how you can work with me tomorrow. This is such important work because there's only so much books and videos can do. You have to be in a container. It's like when you go to a party and you feel the excitement and you feel the vibration, you feel it, it gets inside of you because then you go into a different state. Like you go to a family event and you can't stand some of your aunts that are there, people, especially, asking you questions, whatever, whatever. All of a sudden, you might have been in a great mood. You come down and now you're just trying to just make it through that Thanksgiving dinner or that Christmas dinner because you're like, these people, and it's not that you're going into victimness because victimness will affect your state of being and that affects that's your scarcity, but it's hard to hold that frequency when people around you are like trying to pull you down metaphorically and you're trying to hold it. So being able to walk into a Thanksgiving dinner where nobody around you affects you, that's what I teach because you can't control your external state everywhere you go until people stop talking. What you can control is you. So that's what I want to show you what to do is how can you get into a state that no matter what situation you're in, you're going to be able to hold the frequency. That's the goal. Because we're going to meet assholes all day, every day, everywhere. Everywhere. My thing is when I drive, because I have a fast car and I can't stand slow drivers and I live in Chicago, I need you to get out of my way. So I have to find my peace every time I get behind that wheel. And so I do. I hold my frequency. I'm like, everything's going to be great. And I'm just going to keep driving, so I'll be good. Because the moment that I get out of it, well, Susan, the moment I get out of it, a bunch of cuss words might come out of my mouth. So I need to be in this state. Also, I think I was like some kind of race car driver in my past life. I don't know. Anyway, so these are the things that I have. I hope you enjoyed day one. I hope you got lots of value out of it. Um, And people try to race my Porsche. Oh my gosh, they do it to me all the time, Susan. They're always trying to race me in my G-Wagon. It's always the Teslas. I'm like, why are you Tesla people trying? It's at the stoplight. I'm like, I hit this gas. I'm going to spend $50. I am not trying to race you. Okay. We get on the highway. We have a better bet. I bet I'm gonna outrace you. But no way am I trying to do that with you on the side streets. Okay. Anyway, I'm so happy that you guys got a lot of value coming today. Is everybody returning tomorrow? Just drop a yes in the comments if you are. Who's not? I want to know, but I want to see who's returning, who's going to be here. You guys, do you feel the frequency that you're in? So, little homework, what I'd love you to do. I'd love you to go and bring this to tomorrow, the design of that dream life, as big as you can go without limits. What does that look like? Financially, in your relationships, whatever it is. What does that feel like? And go right now, if you have time right after this call, and really write it out while you're in this state, because you'll be surprised at how big you'll go. Or you'll be surprised when you write it and you'll go, how? I don't know. And you'll start seeing where the resistance comes from. Check it out and go see it. And let's talk tomorrow. All right. I loved having you on here. I loved being in your presence. Thank you for your time. And I will see you tomorrow. I have to go. I have a millionaire call I've got to get on now, and we're a little late. So I'll see you later. Bye for now.